Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's get into some Bitcoin breaking news. All right, there's a couple things I want to talk to you guys before the weekend. So if you hold Bitcoin, you kind of want to get a pulse what the market's going to be doing on this Friday as we get into the weekend. Let's get down into it. All right, and if you're new to the channel, great time to subscribe, smash that like button, and let me know what you guys think about Bitcoin as well as crypto. We all know, as always, the riser of all tides, BTC, and what's struggling for me is how altcoins are performing in comparison to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin hits all-time highs. We hit all-time highs again. And then now we trade off a little bit below 59,000. And it seems like we're stuck while all other cryptos are kind of looking for the next step, right? Certainty, what investor sentiment is. I think it's more so tied into regulation and how the perception is with the upcoming election. There's a few bullet points that we do need to talk about. I did pull over at a gas station, so apologize, all you Taco Bell lovers. Shout out to Taco Bell in the background. But no, let's get down into it. Like I said, subscribe down below. All right, we're going to hit a few topics of conversation here, kind of parlay that into some of the intel that I gathered from being at the Toronto ETH Futures Conference. Okay, that was a very fun time, but I do want to share with you guys kind of my thoughts now. There's a lot of, I guess, optimism, right, that this could be some kind of contrarian play within the numbers, okay? We've been fluctuating for about a week now between 57K and 61,000. Now, it's not 70,000 all-time highs and beyond, but there's something that needs to be talked about because the demand for Bitcoin is incredibly prevalent. And this is something where I think right now we look at kind of the weaknesses in the market, and it's more so an indication of the strength that Bitcoin may have. There's no reason it's down, and quite frankly, there's no reason why it's not going up, okay? Usually, this could be directly associated with kind of accumulation. So I think that large wallets are gathering Bitcoin. I think that's something where if that does happen, we're going to get some other indications, more so on the technical side, and then from there, that's when Bitcoin would break out of this consolidation where, you know, we're right on the verge of fear entering the market, in my opinion. As always, though, this is just my opinion, not financial advice, but you can tell just because of why and how the other altcoins are moving, okay? I think that you're looking at spot traders, for example, kind of hesitant to jump in, but I think more so the bigger holders, right, are buying Bitcoin in bushel loads right now because this is something where, like I said, there's no reason why it's down and there's no reason why it's not going up, okay? I think that right now we have a little bit of unfortunate noise, I would call it, right? Well, what's going on with the Middle East, kind of some discrepancies within political stances, I think is another thing influencing crypto. You can see the stock market is behaving in a very similar method as well. But the other thing is inflation, right? And I had this long discussion with a couple people where we talked about, you know, digital gold. It's the ultimate hedge against inflation. Well, when, you know, we talk about inflation and printing money, and it seems to be this cycle, right? You print money, people are going to invest into crypto, they're going to take out loans with lower interest rates, they're going to buy crypto on leverage, and then all of a sudden, once that becomes a gain, they're going to then borrow to pay back what they owe with more leverage, and that's going to be kind of like free money, basically, to invest. For some of the more seasoned traders and people that go down that road, right? It's not more so the retail side of it, but that's how the institutions are navigating behind the scenes, okay? It's a cycle. We saw it back in 2021, and now people, I think the bigger holders in Bitcoin and in crypto are just kind of salivating at the mouth, waiting for that entry point. I think it's a low and slow accumulation zone, and, you know, this has historically been pretty bullish when we've hit this in this little short-term weakness in the market, if you want to go that way, okay? And that produces a lot of pump fakes, If you look at the historical charts for Bitcoin that coincide with 2024, so I'm talking we go back every 4 years, right? Bitcoin is a 4-year cycle, and there's a lot of people that are betting that it's going to happen again. And then there's a lot of people saying, well, they're going to be smarter this time. They're going to let the 4-year window run by, and they're not going to say we're going to the moon. All right, we're getting out. It's 4 years. We're done. We're going to live the pump just like historically it happens, and it's rinse, wash, repeat for that cycle. I don't necessarily agree with that, okay, but I think as we enter the weekend kind of with a negative sentiment, right? There is a bearish cross appearing on the pattern there on the charts, but historically, this is what I'm saying. This is a very high probability that this is a good sign, all right? Coming back to my common theme, there's no reason why Bitcoin was at 70,000, and now that it's not, nothing has changed, right? Nothing has changed, and I think this is why we're seeing a lot of head fakes. So I wanted to kind of share with you guys where my head's at before the weekend, okay? And another little bullet point I do want to pull up for you guys, and this is something that I think is very important for kind of putting together all the Bitcoin, all the noteworthy news, okay? But this is something where you look into what the United States is doing, okay? And we talked about some of the comments within President Trump saying what he would do with basically make Bitcoin a stockpile for a nationwide stockpile if he was elected president. But there's something that's very, very important to understand. This is where the U.S. government, okay, they have $590 million, okay, within the Silk Road Bitcoin transfer. Now, this is something where that is being transferred to Coinbase, okay? But the interesting thing about it is it's very unlikely that this amount of money becomes sold. So I did want to kind of segue into that and apologize for not really, you know, telling you guys this in a different way. But I think that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes within the government, within crypto. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I try to keep it real. But in my opinion, Bitcoin at these levels below 59,000, $600 million of Bitcoin transfers to Coinbase. You know, there's a lot of reports saying that that's not going to create selling pressure. That's a very interesting narrative, okay? So if the U.S. government's basically hodling Bitcoin, okay, it's, I think, a tipping of the hand, if you will, what's actually going on in the market, all right? So that's something where, you know, these are some of the ways that they look to keep Bitcoin safe, okay? This is supposed to be in collaboration and possibly linked to the Coinbase Prime being unveiled, all right? But I think so these large scale holdings and entities, right? The United States owns a crap ton of Bitcoin. They own a crap ton of crypto from seizures, all that good stuff. It's bad stuff, but you know what I'm trying to say. But that's kind of my point, all right? I think that if that's where, you know, we're trusting all of these people within what they hold, especially the U.S. government. All right, that's just kind of like I guess, a further driving that nail into the coffin. Why I think my conviction that Bitcoin will go back above 70K is there. It would really alarm me if they sold that. Okay, if they liquidated, then they're expecting a drop. They're expecting more volatility. All right, more fear. But I don't know. After all the conversations I had in Toronto with a lot of people in crypto, it just seems all programmed, and that's just kind of my thoughts. So I wanted to share with you guys some of that, I guess you'd call it Bitcoin breaking news. Just the sole kind of news headline that the U.S. government is not planning to sell any of that high dollar amount of Bitcoin that they have transferred to Coinbase, okay, within that Mt. Gox liquidations. So that's kind of what I got, a little off my chest before we get into the weekend. But I want to share with you guys kind of my thoughts, all right? And I'm sorry, I do want to correct myself. It wasn't Mt. Gox, it was Silk Road. So I was reading a lot of articles, but apologies for that mix-up. But just wanted to share that with you guys. Appreciate you all watching. Make sure you subscribe down below. Smash that like button. And let me know your thoughts on this, right? Because kind of where I'm at is I don't feel Bitcoin should stay at these levels for quite too long. I think that there's a reason why it is, but I think that reason is completely irrelated to why we have fallen from 70K and beyond. So let me know down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys all subscribe on your way out. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.